Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late November 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get this reading started off nice and smooth with a couple of oracle cards to test out the energy for my beautiful Virgo friends. In late November, my guides, talk to me. What do we have for Virgo here? And yeah, we're just going to look at these cards super quick as always. Then we'll get into the full tarot reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus spread with the Shadowland Tarot to see what type of shadow work you might want to lean into in this time. And those have been coming out really cool. So I hope you like that. There's much for you to consider and think about. So let's get it going here. Enough yapping. What do we got here for Virgo, please? Guides, talk to me. And decks being a little specific, it's all good. So we have communication or the past showing up here right front and center. Kind of makes sense with the readings we've been having for you the past couple of weeks, but we'll talk about it. It's been very emotional heavy, cup heavy, the Virgo readings. Okay, we have someone who might feel a little bound, might feel a little cornered here with this angel. That's kind of Eight of Swords type of vibe. Before we really dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Now, into the reading we go. Two different energies completely. You see this woman here holding that letter. She's looking off behind her to the past. So the two main things that we think of right away whenever she shows up is communication with all the birds, the letters, wanting to get something off your chest, wanting to say something, but also reflecting a little bit. And it kind of fits with the time of the year it is, around the holiday season. A lot of people tend to do a lot of reflecting, living in the past a little bit, thinking about memories. Hopefully there's not something that's sticking around a little too hard, because we have this bound up angel in the second. Now, this doesn't make or break the reading. I always say that. It's just a little energy tester we do. But as I said, it's similar to the Eight of Swords to me. You see that beautiful angel bound up by the red twine. So this could be you feeling cornered in some type of way. I even say sometimes this could be cabin fever, somebody that feels like their hands are tied in some way. You just have to apply it to your life. It could also be a little burdensome as well, like someone who feels like they're lacking freedom in some way. So beware of this in the coming days and weeks. Maybe it's someone's mind. And these could also be energies of people in your life, so it doesn't have to just all be you. But let's get into tarot and see if these themes continue to show up. We're going to shuffle it up one time, get you 3 in the upright, then we'll intuitively clarify. So my guides, talk to me about Virgo. What do we have in late November for my friends, please? And yeah, the last 2 weeks, as I was mentioning a little earlier, have been cup heavy. Last week's reading was titled An Emotional Block. The week before that was an emotional warning. So you see the themes, lots of cups, lots of heightened emotions possibly. So we'll see if we're getting a little switch up. You know I'm an optimist and I like positive readings. But I mean, whatever cards pop out, that's what pops out. So let's see what we have for Virgo this week, please. Gods, talk to me. Let's get these 3 out here in the upright. Thank you. Okay, 2 of Wands. Oh no. Yeah, and that's the 4 of Wands. That's a good start. Okay. Yeah, I'm working with a new deck, so forgive me if I misidentify them at first. But the 4 of Wands is a very, very good energy. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be something you're going to have to watch out for. We have the Page of Swords in position number 2. And on the back end, we have the 5 of Swords. So there might be a couple of little warnings in here. And as I already said, it doesn't make or break the reading completely because we still have to clarify. But I'm going to go through and give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into the juicier stuff. We have an interesting dynamic here between positive and negatives on the back end. The 4 of Wands could speak about matters of the home, matters of stability. Usually this is a very celebratory type of energy. So wanting to have parties, get-togethers, anything that is worth celebrating. Sometimes it could be weddings and things of that sort. Any big gathering of people. But it usually has the 4 Wands, the 1111. So whenever I see this card, I think about the universe possibly trying to get your attention, sending you number signs, repeating numbers to try to lead you down a very direct path. That's a big thing with this card. But it's generally one of the more positive ones. I do like it. The negative of that card could be something a little stubborn or stagnant. But moving to the center, we have the Page of Swords. Now, all pages are messengers, all pages are communicators. This one has a little bit of a different flavor than the other ones. Now, sure, this could be an air sign in your life, okay? But the Page of Swords is defensive in nature. Sure, this is a page that will talk, but it has its guard up. Might be having some communication issues with people. This page is also the watcher of the tarot deck. So maybe someone has eyes on you. Maybe you have someone under the microscope. With this page, it's analytical. So you might be like planning moves and planning certain things. We'll see when we clarify it. But yeah, a lot of readers do call it the Spy of the Tarot deck. I don't just solely lean on that. But moving to the back end, we have the Five of Swords. That's something you need to watch out for. That's usually an energy of conflict. It's a little rough, okay? I always say this could sometimes be somebody with narcissistic tendencies. So if you've dealt with anybody like that, they could be showing up here in the energy. But it is competitive. This is somebody that always wants to come out on top. That's the type of vibe this is, that someone will do whatever they got to do to get to where they want to go. So in the positive, this could be you know, being competitive and really wanting to push forward in your own way. In the negative, this could be conflict-based for sure, similar to the Five of Wands. So we're going to see what all this is about, and I just want to mention this right off the jump. A similar thing I've been seeing with a lot of other signs is there's a mix of fire and air here, which could be good. That could talk about passion and drive and having an abundance of drive, or it could be explosive, a little volatile, combustible. So we'll see what's up when we clarify. Let's do that now. We're going to dive in and clarify. So let's shuffle it up one more time here for the beautiful Virgos, please. Okay, and you know every card has positives and negatives. I don't like to be doom and gloom or anything like that. But I am going to read the cards that come out for you, my friends. It's just my style. And yes, this is the portion that's intuitive, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. We're going to go in on this Four of Wands. And yes, the box is here. If you know how to read cards, if you're feeling any messages that you want to share with the collective, just drop it down below. I don't mind, because there are countless ways to read tarot cards. Let's get in on this Four of Wands, though. Why is it here for the Virgos, please? Thank you. Okay, we got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Hopefully none of you are having issues in regards to work or monetary things. That could possibly be it for some of you. Now, the Three of Pentacles is usually extremely diligent. It's somebody working hard, working well together in a group. So I'm getting a couple of different things. Yes, it is a little warning about work, like especially tough work situations. A warning against group situations. I feel like this is somebody that believes that nobody can really help them achieve what they want to achieve, that if they're going to have to do something, they have to do it on their own. This is like a lone wolf type of vibe this is giving me right here in the front. Okay, so I feel like it's one or the other. Watch out for groups, or, I mean, lone wolf syndrome could be a little rough in itself too. So just, I'd say watch out for groups in general, because both of these cards could be about groups. Okay. We're going to keep it moving. I'm not going to muddy up the message. Of course, it could mean other things. You just take it how it hits for you. We're going to go in on this page and see what's up. A little bit of a warning there. And as I said right in the very beginning, there might be little warnings sprinkled throughout this reading, which is okay. It's better to be aware of things. So let's see what's up with this Page of Swords here for the Virgos. Why is the page here? Thank you. Okay, Chariot in reverse. Yeah, there absolutely might be somebody who's just like lingering in the shadows. You might be having troubles with a Cancer when the Chariot shows up in reverse, but when I see the Chariot in reverse, it automatically makes me think of inaction. And with this defensive page, if you've been having issues with somebody in particular, they might be like pulled back and staying back for a very specific reason. Now, some of you might be in that mode. You might literally be in hermit mode, which is your card. But this is the vibe, someone like watching from the shadows. I don't feel like there's any nefarious plans or like that, but someone might be like watching from a distance. So beware of that. So once again, another little warning here, nothing to lose our heads about. But if you've been having issues with somebody, if you've been wanting to talk something out with somebody, like they might be holding a defensive posture here. Especially if you have someone who's a little disgruntled, they might be staying in that mode, okay? It's a little grudgy as well. So we're going to move over to this Five of Wands, see what's up. Let's put these cards right back in place. It's tough because these cards are a little big and I want to keep everything in shot for you. So let's go in on this Five of Swords, then we'll do a recap before we get into the shadow work. Some warnings sprinkled throughout here. It's all good. So why is the Five of Swords here for the beautiful Virgos? Talk to me. Why do we got the Five of Swords? Thank you. Justice. Yeah. Somebody will absolutely get what's coming to them if they've done you wrong with the Five of Swords and Justice. Now, for some of you, it could be simple. You might have some issues right now with a Libra, or that might come up in the coming days and weeks. So if you're walking on thin ice, like you and a Libra, you're just not connecting, clicking, it could become a little more conflict oriented. However, When I see the Five of Swords with Justice in the upright, it is an extremely karmic type of card to me. If someone has ever been in Five of Swords mode towards you, if you've suffered through narcissistic things, or even somebody that's abused you in any kind of way, I don't want to really use that word too much, they will get their just desserts. This is karmic retribution. This is karma being paid. So I feel like we have a lot of different things here, warnings sprinkled throughout. It's not like a treacherous reading, but Spirit might just want you to know that. Like, listen, if you've been done wrong, if somebody's hurt you, if somebody's ever been in this Five of Wands mode, do not worry, because what goes around comes around. Justice will always come through, okay? And that could be comforting for some, okay? Especially when we attach it to a card that's usually seen as a little negative. But let's go through and do a quick recap here before we get into the shadow work. Okay, this reading, although I'm an optimist, was definitely not sunshine and flowers this week, and that's okay. If you kindly look down in the box in position number 1, we have the Four of Wands with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. It was giving me a dual message here, that you need to watch out for group situations. And it was giving me that lone wolf type of vibe, where someone feels like if they need to get something done, they're going to have to do it on themselves, or they can't rely on anyone. Like, I have to do this on my own. Like, I got this. So these are things to watch out for in the coming days and weeks. As we press forward through the reading, we have the Page of Swords with the Chariot in reverse. If you've been having issues with somebody, specifically communication issues, not seeing eye to eye, there might be somebody in the shadows and holding a defensive posture. They might be watching as well. So we have double warnings to start this off, tied in with the Five of Swords on the back end, Justice clarifying it. That is good to me. That tells me that if anyone's really done harm to you, if anyone's hurt you in any type of way, the universe and Spirit might want to tell you, like, hey, karma is very real. Somebody will get a dose of what they deserve. Like, trust and believe that, even if you don't witness it. So that's what we have here. I mean, take it how it hits, my friends, and feel free to watch your moon rising and other alignments. But take a screenshot if you'd like to look into these further, because of course there's other messages. We're going to get into the shadow work real quick though. Let's shuffle it up one time with this Shadowland Tarot for the beautiful Virgos, please, my gods. And yes, this deck is a little spooky, and tarot is a very important tool for shadow work. I know in this day and age people use tarot for similar things, but it is very strong when we use it for self-reflection and looking at the darker sides of things. And that's okay sometimes. It's good to face our shadows, face what's beneath the surface. And that's what we're going to do here real quick. We're not going to, stay on it too long. We're just going to pull 3 cards and keep it moving. So what do we got here? Okay. So we have the Lovers in first position. And remember, we're going to be looking at the darker sides of these cards. We have the Page of Swords once again, so we have our repeating card that showed up in the spread itself. Let's get one more. Okay. Ace of Cups. So a tie into the past couple of weeks in regards to emotion. So with the darker sides of these cards, when we look at the Lovers, that automatically highlights interpersonal relationships. It doesn't just mean soulmates, twin flames, and stuff like that. Of course it could, but there could be some sort of scar in regards to very close personal bonds that is still lingering in this time. You might want to revisit that and look at that, specifically if it's romantic in regards to the Lovers. Okay, and I feel like we don't have to dive into it too much. For some of you, it may have been a Gemini that's done a little bit of harm here, but we're going to keep it moving over to the Page of Swords, more of that air energy. Okay, all the things I was saying about somebody being a little defensive, pulled back in the shadows, still applies with this Page of Swords. It could be a little stubborn as well, a little untrusting. So maybe some of you are very skeptical because of what you've been through. Now, I'm not saying to go around and trust every story everybody tells you, but if you automatically go in and mistrust everybody right off the bat, that's not really the best way to move throughout life. I tend to trust somebody until they prove that I can't trust them. That's the vibe I pick up with this Page of Swords. But once again, it's also defensive and very skeptical here. Moving back to this Ace of Cups. The last 2 weeks with all the emotions, this showing up once again, sure, aces are usually opportunities, good things, new cycles. But on the darker side of this is emotions overflowing. This is like just bubbling over with emotions. Some of you might feel you're a little emotionally volatile at times. And it could have been due to emotional scars, especially with all this lovers talk and this Page of Swords, the skepticism, there's going to be an emotional reaction to that. So getting your emotions in check and really examining them could be important in this time with this Ace of Cups. Also, it's another card of romance and love. So maybe some of you have been put through the ringer in regards to romantic situations. But Virgo, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. For the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful classic Tarot Grand Luxe. This is an awesome deck, and I absolutely love it. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always. We always keep an attitude of gratitude around here. So let me know down in the comments something you are grateful for. It could be anything. And second, you must be subscribed, of course, which I'm sure you already are at this point. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, I'll announce the winners at random. My friends, thank you so much. As always, much love to you, and I'll see you next time.